A very important property that water has is a very high specific heat. So, specific heat is a measure of how quickly or easily an object or so much of an object warms up or cools down, how quickly it changes temperature one way or the other. Water specific heat is really very, very high. You can see here we're looking at air and the pot here on the left and water in the pot on the right. And you can see down here the specific heat for water is more than 4 times greater than that of air. Most metals have a much smaller specific heat even than air. So metals warm up very quickly. As an example, I don't know if you've ever been to a sporting event, like a football game, and you're sitting on the bleachers. And when the game starts, the sun is still out, it's still kind of warm, and the bleachers are comfortable to sit on. But as soon as that sun sets, maybe halftime in the second half, maybe the bleachers are much colder. They've lost their energy very quickly. That's because those bleachers are metal and they have a very small specific heat. Water has a high specific heat. It takes a long time to heat up water. You probably noticed this when you're boiling a pot of water, as the example here shows. Additionally, think about the first warm day of spring. So it's been cold all winter. You get like an 80, 85-degree day of spring. You don't go run and jump in the swimming pool or jump in the lake. That water is still very, very cold. And that's because it's going to take a long time, halfway through the summer usually, for that water to heat up and get to a comfortable point. Now, on the other side of that, in October, it starts getting a little colder out, a little chillier. The air changes temperatures a lot easier. Well, your swimming pool or the lake is still going to be kind of warm. It still kind of feels good to get in, even on a kind of chilly afternoon or chilly day. It's that water is built up heat all summer, and it's still pretty warm. Now, this is a really, really important uh, property that water has, specific heat. Without it, Earth would heat up very, very, very quickly in large amounts, and it would cool off way too quickly. It'd probably make life on Earth, at least life as we know it on Earth, really, really difficult for most animals. Think of the desert. I don't know if you've ever been to the desert, but you've probably heard the desert very, very hot in the daytime. People always think about, hey, how hot is it in the daytime in the desert? At night, it's really, really cold in the desert, very cold. So we have these huge temperature swings in just a 24-hour period. Really, really hot in the day, really, really cold at night. Why is that? Well, largely because deserts are dry. They don't have water that is there to kind of regulate the temperature. They don't have water to absorb the heat as the day starts to get hotter, and they don't have water to release heat back at nighttime when things start cooling off. So very important property of water is specific heat, and water has a very high specific heat, so it resists the change in temperature. That's what specific heat is.